Sometimes, the smallest voices say the biggest things. She was just another waitress trying to survive the day, until a little girl changed her life with 5 simple words. What happened next? It'll restore your faith in fate and family. Samantha wiped down the counter for the 3rd time, more out of nervous habit than necessity. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon at Marlowe's Diner. The kind of place where regulars came for coffee and pie, and newcomers passed through without a second glance. She was 7 months pregnant, exhausted, and doing her best to stay invisible. Her feet throbbed, her back ached, but rent was due, and tips were better during the lunch rush. She didn't have the luxury of slowing down, not when she was raising this baby alone. The bell over the front door jingled, and in walked a man, tall, sharp-suited, with shoulders too broad for the narrow doorway, and a little girl in pink overalls holding a stuffed bunny by the ear. They sat in her section. Of course they did. Samantha grabbed her notepad, plastered on her practiced smile, and walked over. "Good afternoon. I'm Sam. What can I get you both today?" The man looked up. His eyes were tired. Kind. A softness in them she hadn't expected. "I'll just have coffee," he said. The little girl spoke up before Samantha could write it down. "I want pancakes." Samantha laughed, genuinely, and crouched down. "Pancakes? At lunch? That's bold, I like it." The girl grinned. "My name's Lily. This is Bunny. He wants pancakes too." Sam played along, nodding seriously. "Then it's decided. 2 stacks of pancakes, 1 for Lily, 1 for Bunny." As she walked back to the kitchen, she couldn't help but glance over her shoulder. Lily was talking animatedly, the man listening with a small, distracted smile. There was something in his posture, a wariness she recognized. Maybe he was a single parent too. Maybe he was just having a hard day. She didn't think too much about it until she brought their food. That's when it happened. Lily reached up, tugged at her dad's sleeve, and said loud enough for Samantha to hear, "I like her daddy." He looked surprised. "You do? She's pretty, and she talks to Bunny like he's real." The man chuckled, glancing at Samantha with an apologetic look. "Sorry about that." But Samantha's heart twisted. No one had called her pretty in months. No one had looked at her like she was anything other than a burden or a cautionary tale. "It's okay," she said softly. "Your daughter's got great taste." He smiled then, a real one. The kind that makes your stomach feel lighter. "I'm Jake," he said. "This little troublemaker is Lily." Samantha nodded. "It's nice to meet you both." She walked away, but their faces stayed with her. Over the next 30 minutes, she checked on them more often than she needed to. Not because she wanted a bigger tip, but because Lily made her laugh and Jake listened like every word mattered. When they finally got up to leave, Jake left a generous tip and a folded napkin under his coffee cup. Samantha picked it up when they left. Inside was a note. "Thanks for treating Lily like she mattered. We don't get that often. If you ever want to grab a coffee when you're off shift. Jake." At the bottom was his number. She stared at it for a long time. Her heart said yes. Her mind screamed caution. But something about the way Lily smiled, wide and hopeful, like she saw the good in people before the rest of the world taught her not to, gave Samantha courage. That night, after closing, she texted him, "Hey, it's Sam from the diner. Coffee sounds nice." The reply came within seconds. Tomorrow. They met after her shift. 1 hour turned into 2. 2 into 4. She learned he was a widower, trying his best. He learned she had been left by the baby's father, working doubles to stay afloat. There was no judgment, no pity, just understanding and laughter. Weeks passed, then months. They met every Thursday, sometimes with Lily, sometimes just the two of them. Slowly, carefully, their hearts began to heal. On a rainy evening in early spring, Samantha went into labor. She hadn't told Jake yet. She didn't want to scare him away. But when she called in pain, he dropped everything. He was there in minutes, holding her hand in the back of the ambulance, whispering calm into the chaos. When the baby, a boy, was born, Jake held him like he'd been waiting for him all along. "You're not alone anymore," he said, tears in his eyes. "Neither of you." They moved in together 6 months later, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. Because love, when it's real, doesn't rush. It roots and grows. Lily called Sam Mommy. For the first time one sunny Sunday, while they were all eating pancakes. Bunny was at the table too, of course. Jake proposed on the 3rd anniversary of that diner lunch, with a napkin note that read, "Want to keep serving this table forever?" She said yes. Not because he saved her, but because he saw her. Because one little girl believed in love before anyone else did, and because 5 small words, "I like her, Daddy," turned a tired waitress into someone's whole world. Sometimes, the simplest moments create the biggest miracles. A father, a daughter, a woman trying her best, and a quiet lunch that rewrote their lives forever. If this story moved you even a little, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, because love like this deserves to be shared. And remember, kindness can change everything.